Welcome to Manchester United Daily 4 Updates News. Before continuing this video, click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Number 1 News. Manchester United end donation to charity for former players as financial worries mount. The latest cost-cutting measure instigated by Sir Jim Ratcliffe at Man United has seen the club end charitable donations to a former players group. Manchester United have ended a £40,000 a year donation to a charity supporting former players as Sir Jim Ratcliffe continues to make swinging cuts to expenses at Old Trafford. The club previously made a yearly donation in the form of quarterly payments of £10,000 to the Association of Former Manchester United Players, UFMUP, a charity set up in 1985 to support those players who had represented the club, with the majority not making enough to retire after their playing days had ended. But as Ratcliffe continues to take a series of drastic cost-cutting measures to ease United's dire financial worries, his latest penny-pinching measure has seen the donation come to an end. Since his £1.25 billion investment into the club was confirmed in February, Ratcliffe has made 250 staff redundant, hiked ticket prices and ended concessionary rates, and put an end to Sir Alex Ferguson's £2 million a year ambassadorial role. Staff had their bonus slashed from £100 to a £40 Marks and Spencer voucher, while free tickets and club transport for the FA Cup final in May, long-standing perks for staff, were also stopped. A club source said United greatly appreciates the role played by UFMUP in maintaining relationships between former players and plans to continue working with them, supporting their events, and participating in their activities. However, the decision to axe the £40,000 a year funding was made because the club continues to make significant losses. The source added, "Our focus is on putting the club back on a sustainable financial footing so that we are in a position to invest in our priorities of achieving success on the pitch and renewing our infrastructure." Jim Elms, a former United player and trustee of UFMUP, told The Sun that the charity only found out the funding was ending when they contacted the club to ask about payments that hadn't been made. "We sent a letter to say we've not been paid. Nobody came out and told us, so we had to send another letter," he said. "That's when we started hearing things that it was going to be the end of us." Elms revealed that United's chief executive, Omar Barada, called him just before Christmas to explain the move. "It didn't go too well," he said. "Omar was non-committal. He's going to meet us again in January, but he said he couldn't see it changing. He didn't seem to think that we were a necessity. We've ran it since 1985, keeping the old players together, looking after the ones that couldn't pay for funerals. I just can't understand them myself. It's ridiculous." 5 Man United deals that could happen in the January transfer window. Ruben Amorim has a massive task on his hands to transform Manchester United after a shaky start, and he will want to make progress in the January transfer window. Ruben Amorim has a massive job on his hands as he tries to turn around the listing supertanker that is Manchester United. It's going to take several transfer windows, and the issue blighting January's is PSR. United splashed out £177.6 million in the summer, bringing £85.5 million in, and this severely restricts what they can do next month. The best way of generating transfer cash would be to offload players, and Marcus Rashford is the obvious candidate. Rashford claims he is ready for a new challenge after Amorim axed him, and United would accept £40 million for the former England striker. But what other business could United complete in January? NS. Victor Gyökeres. It seems just a question of when and not if Gyökeres is reunited with Amorim at Old Trafford. Gyökeres is one of the hottest strikers in Europe, and the Sweden star scored 26 goals in 23 games for Sporting Lisbon before Christmas. Sporting have slapped a €100 million, £83 million, release clause on his head, although it is understood they would accept between £62 million and £70 million to cash in on their most prized asset. United sacked Dan Ashworth as their sporting director after just 5 months, and he dropped a major clanger when he was at Brighton and sold Gyökeres to Coventry for just £1 million in 2021. A deal next month is dependent on a number of factors, and Amorim claims he will not return to Sporting next month to sign any of his former stars. Marcus Rashford. Although Amorim has publicly claimed he wants to keep Rashford, behind the scenes United would accept an offer for their homegrown star. Rashford, 27, has struggled for form over the last 18 months since he starred in Erik ten Hag's first season, banging in 34 goals for United in England. United have dropped their asking price, and one-time suitors Paris Saint-Germain have cooled their interest, while Rashford does not want to move to the Saudi Pro League. His wages are also a sticking point to any deal, and his £350,000 a week salary puts most off. He will either have to accept a pay cut or United will have to subsidize his wages to get him off their books. Antony's agent Junior Pedroso claims there is concrete interest in signing the winger in January. Antony has been a massive flop since his £86 million move from Ajax in 2022, and United are keen to offload him. Pedroso claims he has been inundated with calls from prospective clubs and said, "Many clubs have approached us for Antony's move in January. Of course, it remains to be seen if any will sign him permanently when he has 18 months left on his reported £200,000 a week deal." Christian Eriksen. Amorim has a huge job overhauling the squad he has inherited, and Eriksen is set to leave on a free in the summer when his contract expires. Transfer News Live. Man United make move for PSG star. Alexander-Arnold wants to quit Liverpool. Rashford latest. Manchester United are ready to splash the cash in the January transfer window after a poor start under Ruben Amorim, while Arsenal are eyeing a striker and Liverpool look to retain Mohamed Salah and company. The Boxing Day games have been and gone, and now the January transfer window is just days away. A host of Premier League clubs are expected to make moves, with Manchester United potentially dealing with ins and outs. Marcus Rashford continues to be a headline name and could secure an Old Trafford exit after speaking publicly about his next move. The team's struggles could also see Amorim bring in new faces, although funds are at a premium and the new manager is prepared to work with what he's got for now. Arsenal are likely to be focused more on incomings, with Bukayo Saka set for an extended spell on the sidelines. Mikel Arteta's side, if they are to mount a challenge, need more firepower in the final third. Liverpool's is on keeping hold of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk. All three players will be free to negotiate with clubs from overseas on January 1st, meaning time is against them. Man Utd's January business. It is fair to say that the majority think Man Utd's squad is not up to scratch. It means they need to sell before they buy if they want to rid of the players who won't take them to the heights they want to reach. We take a look at 5 deals that could take place in January, with 4 of them big-name exits. Carragher names 2 stars likely to be on top 6 radar. He told The Telegraph, "2 youngsters who have stood out for me this season are Bournemouth's Milos Kerkez and Brighton's Carlos Baleba. Kerkez looks like a fine left-back, and there are plenty of top clubs looking for one of them. Baleba is another tick in the box for Brighton's scouting department, as they have replaced Moises Caicedo with a defensive midfielder who will be catching the eye of title-chasing sides." Wolves clear on Cunha's stance. Wolves will not entertain offers for their Matheus Cunha in January despite Arsenal and Man United both being keen on the 25-year-old. The Brazilian has continued to show his class and has been a leading light at Molineux. New manager Vitor Pereira is desperate to keep his star man, and Wolves have no plans to welcome bids for the former Atletico Madrid man. Man City willing to pay release clause. Man City, in an effort to reignite their floundering campaign, could look to trigger Martin Zubimendi's £50 million release clause, reports Football Insider. The Real Sociedad midfielder is an option to fill the gap left by Rodri, who is poised to miss the entire season through injury. Liverpool man moves to sign Zubimendi back in the summer but ultimately missed out. Calvert-Lewin weighing up Everton exit. Everton frontman Dominic Calvert-Lewin could agree a pre-contract deal with Fiorentina in January. Man United transfer news. Ruben Amorim eyes Barcelona star amid Matheus Cunha battle. Manchester United could be set for a busy January transfer window, with a number of players potentially set to leave Old Trafford as Ruben Amorim revamps his squad. Manchester United may look to strengthen their squad next month, with Ruben Amorim's side now languishing 14th in the Premier League. United have lost their last 3 games across all competitions, having crashed out of the Carabao Cup with a 4-3 defeat to Tottenham before failing to score in back-to-back defeats to Bournemouth and Wolves. Amorim clearly needs some reinforcements, and United may need to sell players before they can sanction any incomings. Marcus Rashford looks likely to depart Old Trafford after being left out of Amorim's last 4 matchday squads, while Antony's agent has revealed there is interest in his services. Al United are one of several Premier League sides who may look to capitalize on Barcelona's financial problems by making a January swoop for Dani Olmo. Olmo was only registered on a temporary arrangement until the end of 2024 following his move back to Barcelona from RB Leipzig, and he would be able to leave on a free transfer in January after the commercial court of Barcelona rejected an appeal from the club. And the Daily Mail are reporting that United, Manchester City and Arsenal are all ready to make a move if Olmo is available next month. The report adds that his agent, Andy Burra, has begun exploring Olmo's options. Cunha battle. Arsenal are set to rival United for the signature of Wolves star Matheus Cunha, with both clubs eyeing a move for the forward. However, Mirror Football understands that Wolves have no plans to cash in on Cunha midway through the season, unless they receive an offer too big to reject. Cunha is Wolves' top goalscorer this season with 10 Premier League strikes, and he will be crucial as they look to avoid relegation. In my opinion, he's a player who can reach high standards in this league. Wolves boss Vitor Pereira told Amazon Prime after their win over United. When asked if Cunha could leave in January, Pereira added, "I hope not. I hope not because we need him." Amorim urged to act stars. Alan Shearer believes Amorim needs to get rid of a number of players if United are to get back to their best, with the former England striker claiming that much of the current squad is simply not good enough. Results? Issues off the field. Rashford, Shearer said while discussing United's Boxing Day defeat to Wolves on BBC Match of the Day. Amorim, said it himself, they're going to have to suffer for a while. And they are, because clearly a lot of the players at that football club are not good enough. He has to be able to get rid of players and be allowed to bring players in who he feels can suit his system. But they are miles off it.